Which is obviously not what some of these guys want to hear when Jim Clark is using it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just been informed we got some audio problems. I'm just working on that in the background.
Which is obviously not what some guys want to hear.
And if we can just get some confirmation that the sound is better now from the live chat, that would be great. Get a thank you from Jackie Jokers. I suspect you can hear the cars and the commentary. Okay, now we're back. Apologize.
I can hear it. We can start again, Jason.
Yeah,
no one
there we go. We had some incredible commentary, everyone. I don't know how you guys missed it.
Oh, the best of the season, for sure.
We'll just claim that one. But yeah, we are. Jim Clark still in pole position now. Langeveld has responded somewhat. Now just 2 tenths behind him. And welcome, Kat James, in the live chat. Good to have you with us again. Good evening to you too. And everybody else, of course. And,
Feel free to put your predictions in for pole position times, guys.
Yeah. Well, we're getting to the 27th. Well, it's just over 7 minutes remaining.
Initially, I thought, and you said you've seen 27s in practice from at least Christopher Langeveld, so you'd think they would get there, but they're obviously quite a lot to find now, 7 tenths just to get there, so possibly these track conditions aren't suited for them.
Langeveld now improves, but still stays second at 28.729, 10th of Clark. So yeah, the times are very close. Look at that. A lot of cars in the 29s as well. Looks like we have a nice full field this evening, full server. That's what I'd like to see. Thank you to all those that let me know you couldn't race this evening. We could make a plan and get those slots filled up anyway.
So slots filled up from the people that moved up from round 1, Division 2. Who took those places again, Jason?
That was Peter Geldenes, Yassine Ismail, and Matthew Boy.
Okay, so those 3 are obviously going to try and hope to cement their places by not finishing bottom 4, I believe. Is it the bottom 4?
So this evening is bottom 4 that go to Division 2. Yeah.
So first goal for those guys is stay into Division 1, and it looks like all 3 of them are at the moment safe.
Yeah. It's the bottom 4 this evening because Marcus Stan is using his drop round this evening, so he needs to come back in for the next round.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
So yeah, that's why it's 4, if anyone's wondering. So Jadwat now is not going to improve this lap. He's possibly on an out lap, wasn't too sure. It's 1.6 seconds of his delta though. Let's go have a look at Clark. He's on a flyer. He's half a tenth slower for the moment. Oh, big mistake there. Not often we see that from Jim Clark. Let's see what Langeveld's doing. He's leaving the pits now for another run. Judd Watts has started another flying lap. Lawrence Sterner now up into 4th position. Good performance from him. Sterner showing good pace this season. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, he's been very consistent and right up there both in GP and GT3, so great progress he's made from last season, I think. Maybe he's getting a little bit of help from Jim Clark setup-wise, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Quite handy to have such a quick guy helping you out with setup,
it's a help you,
for sure.
you sort of gain from joining a team. That's, I think, really helping out Lawrence there. It's great to see. And
that's why it's always quite good to be in a team environment if you can. It takes the load off with setup, and it makes such a big difference.
And for motivation too, as well.
For sure.
For me anyway, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, you've got no excuses when you're letting a team down. You can't have a lazy weekend.
There's the Oliphant now up into 4th position in the Volante Racing McLaren. Good effort, the 29.188. Just 4 tenths off the pace there. Knocking Sterner away from that 4th position, of course. Heineke now up into 6th in the Ghostworks Audi. Your brother Timothy Haynes up into 7th. Good effort so far.
Yeah, times are all a little bit slower than what we expected. So I think track temperature is having a role. I imagine tyres on some of these corners where you're going in very, very quick. If your tyres overheat, you're going to lose a lot of grip, and that make a big difference in track times.
As we watch Jim Clark's nearest challenger, Christopher Langevaart, now on a flying lap, but he's half a second down. But I think you're right, Daniel. It does take a sort of a second or third lap to get these tyres working.
Yeah, because I think all the world record times, I was looking at them, and it's people have changed the track temperatures to it's like middle of winter, basically, 10 degrees to set the blistering record times. So obviously it makes a huge difference. So when you're running at 37 degrees, like it is now, that's going to probably knock a second and a half a lap off, I'd have thought.
And I've got a feeling that this might be Christopher Langevaart's this evening. As I think that, because that Mercedes-Benz does struggle from overheating the tyres pretty easily, and I think this track just helps it out to cool those tyres down before the next corner, as it were. And with the straight line performance of the big V8 in the front of that Merc, it really gets it down those straights. So
yeah, the big straights between corners is going to make a big difference for him, I think, when he struggled a little bit at Road Atlanta, but there's that whole S section Road Atlanta that just doesn't suit that car.
That's another flying lap now. And what is Judd Watt doing? He's also started in the lap. He's the 10th slower at the moment. So I think between these three for pole position, or can Nick Hodgson come up with the absolute crack of a lap, which gave him second in the last qualifying session.
I did notice his name was in the RSR timesheets for the Z4. I think he was in the top 6 or 7, I think. So he's been pushing hard there.
So this session's not over yet, by no means. Langevaart slow at the moment, so is Judd Watt. Both 6/10ths too slow. Hodgson's in the pits. Lisha is on an outlap. Oliphant's in the pits. Stoner's in the 7th. He is in 7th. He's going though. Heineke, outlap. Timothy Haynes. He's going a bit quicker. Let's see what Tim can do. What if Timothy? Okay.
I think he's got a bit of time to find, because I know he's been quicker than his 1:29.3. Marginal though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, he got a good exit out of the last corner.
Yeah, 10th and
Gained a couple of tenths.
Jonathan Benz now up into the top 10.
Sure, shows you the difference. Tim jumped straight up to 5th place with 2 tenths.
Yeah, that's how close
from
it
9th.
is. I believe this is Langevaart's 3rd attempt on this set of tyres. It's the same for Judd Watts. Perhaps you need to have a 3rd lap to get the tyres really working. Seems that way Langevaart's
definitely.
pulled out there. Yeah.
Everyone was slow in their first flying lap, weren't they? So it obviously takes a while. These guys know they fuel for maybe 2-3 laps, and they don't get their quick lap until the end.
Mistake there from Judd Watt. Sees the end to his qualifying session. Clark will get around for another attempt. I don't think he needs to do anything further.
Christopher Langevaart's obviously bailed out in the pits, but second place by only 4/100ths of a second. Very, very close to pole position.
Devin Lisha now quite close to his dog. He was, now he's pulled out of it. And who else is going? Lawrence Stoner is 2/10ths slower. Nick is in the pits. Jacques Boerter now up into 10th position. Black Widow Racing. He's found 2/10ths, look at that. Here comes Boerter. And he's challenging what could be Oliphant for 7th if he gets his corner right. And he does not do so. That's what he can do now. Good trouble. Oh, big wobble. Oh, it's cost him.
Yeah, he went into that last corner too quick, and it's all about the exit there. So you see, you just lose it the entire way up the straight. So slow in, fast out, guys. That's the answer.
That's it.
So easy to be, so easy said.
Yeah,
Hard
of course. And I think that's the end of this qualifying session. Jim Clark was up from pole position, Langevaart in second, Judd Watt in third, Hodgson in fourth, and Timothy Haynes rounds up the top 5. Nice and close. Okay, everyone, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with the formation lap to get this race underway. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Red Bull Ring for round 2 of the 2019.2 South African simGT series, and we're about 10 seconds away to get this formation lap underway. Let's see the lights go out. And off we go. So make sure we've got all the 2 pace lap cars in the pits. That's good stuff. And then I brought up the tyre status as well. So the winner from round 1 again leads round 2 at the start. And
already I'm seeing something interesting though. We've got Jim Clark on the softs and Christian Langevaart on the mediums, and they were split by 4/100ths of a second. So excellent news for us guys watching. We got different strategies at play as well.
We've got a strategy war.
Always nice to see.
That's what we like to see, yeah.
Mix it up a little bit.
In fact, it's Clark and Langevaart on the soft tyre, both of them. Isn't it?
Oh, is it? Okay.
What's on the medium tyre? No, now it's swapped again. So the app's jumping around a bit. Let's just see.
Yeah, Henbury suddenly jumped to the top for some reason. So we've got Clark's on softs.
Yes.
Langevaart mediums. Jadwat also medium. Looks like everyone behind's on medium. So Jim Clark really got to push at the start because his tyres could potentially go off mid-race or certainly earlier. Whether he's going to do there was speculation that people might do a soft and a medium stint, so a slightly longer stint on mediums. So maybe he's thinking he'll push to start with and then finish on the mediums. But it'd be interesting to see how it plays out because as soon as we see 2 cars that are that close on times on different tyres, we get interested.
It's normally not the preferred option to go on the soft tyre in the GT series. So this is very interesting, as you say. And Langevaart might come back at Clark sort of on lap 10 or so. But as you said, let's see how this plays out. So we're approaching the speed up point now. And Jim Clark will get this race going. From now, off we go. And let's see if Langevaart can get the slipstream effect on the main straight. And I think he's going to get it. The Mercedes-Benz should be able to run at the BMW. But
yeah, if not certainly up to turn 2. He's he can stay in tight on this exit.
Definitely. Slow in, fast out is what is needed now. Oh, Langevaart's run wide. It's cost him big time. Here comes Judd Watt, side by side. And Judd Watt's moved to second. So that's been costly for Langevaart. This is exactly what Jim Clark wants at the front. Let everyone squabble behind him while he scampers away. And Nick Hodgson looking very dangerous there in 4th position. Good drive out of their corner as well. Challenging Langevaart now for 3rd position is Nick Hodgson. But Langevaart just a better exit. Look what's happening behind there. Wow, 4 wide at one stage. But everyone sorting themselves out.
Yeah, going into braking zones on this track, we're going to see a lot of people taking some lunges, I think. So it's got to be aware of drivers around you.
Lovely
brilliant track for overtaking.
Yeah. So good stop, everybody. Looks like no one's been off just yet. Fisher running slightly wide. Stoner's going to get a good drive now on him. Cuts back in. There comes Leandre Sparks with a great run through that section. Oh, it's fast and frantic stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tight for quite a few laps, I think. And you've got so much slipstream that it's hard to break that toe.
Oh, someone's off in the background. It's the Lamborghini, I think.
Oh, and a few more.
Yeah, that is Peter Calvinus involved there. And Yassine Ismail. Both those drivers moved up from Division 2 last minute. It's unfortunate for them. Back with Nick Hodgson now, chasing down Langevaart. Langevaart's struggling on that medium tyre.
We saw in qualifying that obviously it took 2 or 3 laps to get tyres into condition, and Jim Clark starting on the softs, he's pulled that massive lead out to begin with, but his tyres are going to get there quicker. So these guys obviously probably waiting for this mediums to come into play. Wouldn't be too concerned just yet that Jim Clark's raced off.
Nick Hodgson looking to go on the outside of Timothy Haynes. Has he got the move done? No, Timothy coming back at him now. Jacques Border just behind him, bringing along Leslie Oliphant. Oliphant on the soft tyre, of course, as well, so he wants to get on with this. But Border looking very strong. Look how he closes up to Hodgson. He's about to put a move on him as well.
He's got the inside line. He should have this here.
Oh, contact. Hodgson runs wide. Oliphant sees the opportunity and takes it. So Hodgson down 2 positions. Border up into 5th. Wow. 2 positions in 3 corners.
Yeah, great start for Bota. Haynes up to 4th as well. So gained a few places. Christopher Langevaart dropped 1.
Lisha being chased by Heineke. And then they've got Benson Boy behind them.
Obviously, the other driver to look out for on the soft tyres, Leslie Oliphant, and he's also gained places in the first few laps. So that soft tyres definitely comes into play quickly from the start. I think the others are struggling to get their mediums into condition.
And watching the boy Govender battle. Govender with a huge lunge up the inside. He made it work, but that Nissan just breezed past him down the straight. Hodgson,
No
Sparks
team orders
together.
there.
No.
I don't think there's many team orders anywhere anymore.
No, I don't think so. Hodgson marginally leading Leandro Sparks there. Going much better through that corner.
Leslie Oliphant's right in the toe there. Behind both, huh? 2 tenths back.
Govinder's fallen right back. Looks like he's had an off. He lost 4 positions. Down to 15th he goes. Sparks in the slipstream of the BMW. Will he go for a move? No, he opts out of it.
Braking zone into turn 2 is probably the favourite place for an overtake. Obviously, drag up the hill if you can get in the slipstream, but also such a heavy braking zone. If you're brave enough and go up the inside.
Oh, that
maybe
was,
not there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Bit ambitious, that one, I think.
Stoner, just a bit too late.
When I say send it up the inside, guys, make sure you've at least got your front wheels side by side before.
Here comes the boy again. Breeze past Leandro Sparks. Up into 10th he goes.
Yeah, that Nissan's great in a straight line, isn't it? He's going to have plenty of overtaking opportunities.
But there again, that McLaren just better under braking and through the corner.
Middle sector for the McLaren will be where it's at.
Sterner now challenging Heineke. This is over 12th position.
Midfield is tight all the way through, isn't it? Not many gaps being formed in the midfield. Right at the front, there's a few gaps being made, but that midfield, they're squabbling.
Heineke with a mistake. Here comes Sterner. He's going to pass him. Sterner goes to 12th. Turkey swung the ball very quick through that last corner. He's running with these two now. It's now a three-way battle for 10th. 12th, actually. Heineke now coming back at Sterner, trying to go on the outside. No, Sterner up to it, no problem at all for him. Bence now under pressure from Leandre Sparks. This is 9th position, they're fighting over. Andre makes the move stick. He goes to 9th. Actually, I think he's getting that position back.
Les the Elephant's really catching both. Only 2/10, but I think he's just struggling in the McLaren to get drive out the straights.
On board now with Matthew Boy in the R35 Nissan.
This is a car that definitely doesn't struggle on the straights.
We can reel that Audi in. There he comes.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard car to keep behind you and defend the inside line. Yeah, as we were saying earlier, I think when we had audio problems, you look at Red Bull Ring on paper, only 8 corners. There's quite a plain looking track, but as soon as you add the elevation changes in the surroundings you find it in, it's surprisingly one of the favourites of a lot of the F1 drivers. It's such a quick track as well in places, but it's all about the elevation changes.
And Daniel got a fantastic three-way battle here. This is over 4th position. Oh, Les the Elephant, a big tank slapper, hangs onto it though.
Yeah, Les the Elephant wants to try and clear places because on the soft tyres he's probably looking at pitting earlier than the 2 guys in front of him. So potentially they're holding him back strategy-wise. Getting a good exit out of turn 1 is so important. Those sausage curbs, if you just go a little bit wide, can ruin the rest of the straight for you. So McLaren's just struggling to, even in the slipstream, just doesn't seem to gain up that hill. Might possibly also be aero setup as well.
So Elephant looking very confident in a sneaky look up the inside. That's to no avail just yet. Let's go back to the Boy Sterner battle. This is very close. There's a bit of a train developing here behind Bence. So Bence gets it wrong. Off he goes. Just
tank slapper.
Feeling the pressure. Tank slapper onto the grass and around he went. And safely rejoined too.
His tyres are going to be pretty cooked though.
Here comes Matthew Boy on Sterner, using the power of that Nissan.
From 10th to 15th, incredibly close. Everyone just in a train, isn't it?
Great race so far. Oh,
Oh.
and Heineken just caught out there by Boy braking a bit earlier. And this can't brake like the Audi.
Now, a little bit of a punt there. Hopefully, Chris waits for him.
Doesn't seem like he's going to do so. So we may receive an investigation request after the race. Let's see what happens.
Matthew Boy's probably got rights to be a little bit upset with that one.
Yeah.
Wasn't his fault.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Shame because that Nissan was going very, very well.
Yeah.
See if he can claw back some time.
Benz and Roux together. Benz has just passed Henry Roux for 17th. As Benz, of course, starts his recovery drive after that half spin.
Yeah, and his tyres are not going to look great, I wouldn't imagine, after those spins, because he went across the track a few times sideways. Assetto Corsa doesn't like that, I'm afraid.
These two now side by side. Claessen's down in 19th. That's not normally where we see him. I'm not sure what's happened to him.
Where did he qualify? I
I'm
didn't
not
actually
sure
see him
myself.
qualify.
Yeah, let's
No.
look back on the stream maybe. Claessen's recovering from 19th. He's got Ismail going well for his Division 1 race this evening. And Hennebry, a late starter. I think he just joined as we started the race. He's up to 21st. Challenging Ismail now for 20th.
And looking at the times, obviously Clark got off to a flyer on his softs and was the only guy into the 29s, but now Jadwat's mediums are starting to come into play because he's also done a 1:29.9. So it's not all over yet. Strategy could certainly come into play. Oh, we've got someone off the track there.
That was Hugo de Wit. Big off for him.
It's not a place where you want to stop on the exit of turn 1. People come around there a bit quick.
So he's down to 21st. Timothy now under pressure from Leslie. This is over 5th position. Audi versus
Yeah, Leslie's been trying to push for quite a few laps though. He just can't seem to put a move. So he's struggling for straight line speed. Needs to be really, really tight going into the corner sections. Different lines going through there. Leslie's a little bit untidy.
Yeah, I think Leslie had to take a bit of avoiding action. And he went across the curb and the grass has cost him.
Lose position to Nick up to turn 1, yeah.
And Nick Hodgson seized that opportunity.
If you don't get a good exit out the last corner in turn 1, you're going to lose positions. You could potentially lose another one here to Mercedes. It's all that good work and he's lost 2 positions in 2 corners.
Show the mistake. He runs wide.
So you'd think Leslie would have that place back, but loses it on the straights. So McLaren's definitely struggling, or certainly his car's struggling in a straight line speed. Got him on the inside possibly.
Here comes Leandro Sparks too to join the party. Around the outside goes Oliphant, no problem at all.
Yeah, that's where the McLaren makes up for its time.
Great move.
Those fast corners. So I'd imagine it would still, no matter what happens, it would still be a 1-stop. I'm amazed if we get a 2-stop strategy. Possibly if the guys on softs are determined to stay on them. But maybe the guys on softs probably pitting lap 25, I would say, and then going long on the mediums if they're going to do a split strategy, or whether they just all pile in on lap 30. Let's keep an eye out around lap 25, I think.
Fun with a great move there on Lisha. So Lante puts 2 on Redline Racing. Olifant just needs to cement that position. A bit of a tap there from Lesher, naughty.
Yeah, that won't be too helpful, but it doesn't seem to have affected him too much.
Olifant now just needs to pull a gap through this corner before we go hit the long straights.
I imagine it's quite hard to judge the front of that Mercedes. It's got such a long front end.
Yeah, it is.
Like you're the captain of a ship.
Sometimes in the McLaren, I feel like I'm sitting over the bonnet. That's how far forward I feel on the McLaren when I'm driving it.
Yeah, I like that, but I suppose it's what you get used to, isn't it? Yeah. That Mercedes definitely, you can swing in the front end and not realise, I should imagine.
Yeah.
He's struggling though, Devonlish, isn't he? He's going backwards rather than forwards at the moment. Sparks is right tucked up behind him. If he can get a good exit out of turn 1.
With the
I know sausage curb.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know sausage curbs have to be in there, but those ones on turn 1, I wouldn't mind them just accidentally getting deleted, to be honest. They've ruined many a good lap. For a lot of people, I'm sure.
This is Lindsay Ray and Hennebury battling it out. Eco racing against Ghostworks. Maybe with a good move. Up to 17th he goes. After that late start.
Yeah, so Clarsons and Henbury, we're usually used to seeing them a little bit higher up, but their sort of consistency seems to be paying off in race pace because they are working their way through the field now, aren't they? 16th and 17th from lower down. As I say that, they go wide.
This is team principal of Ghostworks, Jonathan Bence, leading one of his drivers, Quay Clarsons.
So he can do what he likes. He's the boss.
Yes.
Obviously, he was in Division 2, I think, for round 1. So
that's right, yeah.
Back into Division 1 on round 2. It's not good if the boss is not in the same division. Get a bit of stick from the other drivers. Still only 2 guys that have managed to get into the 29s. So our top 2 runners. Oh no, I say that, and Leandra Sparks has done a 29.9 as well, in 8th place. And Lawrence Sterner, 29.7.
Getting past Devon Lisher and able to use that corner speed of the McLaren. Yeah. So Sterner also quick, as you said.
Yeah, Sterner's put in a lightningly quick time in midfield. And that's the second fastest race time that we've had so far.
Leandra Sparks had a very odd spin. It looked like he was collected by sort of like a ghost or something. Just suddenly he was navigating the corner fine and then suddenly he went around. And
replay on that one.
Yeah, I wish we could do that.
I see in Assetto Corsa Competizione you can in the broadcasting, which
it's good to know.
Quite a nice feature, yeah.
Hennebury DNF. I wonder if that had something to do with it. Perhaps he was jumping around with his ping destroying itself, and perhaps that affected Sparks. Could be.
Yeah, very likely.
Quite a bit of damage to the McLaren. Off, yeah, into the pits he goes.
It's quite a safe track, really, isn't it? Because you've got such massive runoff areas that most guys, even if they make a mistake, you're not going to get punished too heavily for it, apart from possibly losing a place. But damage is something that you don't usually have to worry too much about. BMW's certainly looking a bit second-hand, though.
Yeah, so this is the battle of the BMWs for 18th. Ismail leading Rue. We've got Hennebury and Leandra Sparks in the pits.
So Hennebury's rejoined the server then?
Yeah.
So maybe it's a disconnect or something.
It's a typical signs of a disconnect, yes.
Hodgson's quite close to Tim. 0.3, 0.4. Just looking at gaps of Obviously, Jonathan's incredibly close here as well. It's the closest gap on track at the moment.
So Grass has actually put a move on Benz, so up he goes to 14th. I'm not sure if Ben's made it easy for him, but there we go.
I'm sure he'd say he did, even if he didn't. That's always the advantage you have with teammates. Just lie. I let him through.
Lindsay Ray under pressure now from Ismail. His two teammates together.
Seems like teammates everywhere fighting each other at the moment.
So as you pointed out, Daniel, Timothy Haynes now under pressure from Hodgson. Just 6/10 in it.
That gap's been quite stable, and they're two consistent drivers, so I think it's going to need a mistake from one or either of them to see changes in position, but we'll see.
Ismail's got Lindsay Ray, but Lindsay Ray has dropped back quite quickly, so it looks might have been an incident, or perhaps Lindsay Ray made a mistake. Ismail up into 16th now.
Tim's been doing quite a bit of endurance racing recently as well, and that massively helps consistency, doesn't it, I find? Because it's not all about speed, it's about making sure you can do it every single lap. So as we see from looking at the fastest lap times, we've got some fast laps lower down, but it's the reason why they're lower down is they can't do it every single lap. So that's a bit of a skill to learn, and you only get it with time put in the rig, really.
Yeah, endurance racing sort of it makes you see the bigger picture somehow, and the way you treat the tires and look after them through the stint.
100%, yeah. Brilliant help in a 90-minute race like this if you've got some endurance racing under your belt, because all of a sudden 90 minutes doesn't seem that long.
It almost helps you pay more attention to everything. It's
yes,
yeah, it's one of
them. And just take out those silly mistakes and know that no, you can't press the brake pedal 50 meters later just because you want to try.
Yeah. So Timothy Haynes survives the first onslaught there from Hodgson. Hodgson looking around to go around the outside, but Haynes not having any of it. Gets a position back. Oh, Hodgson with a slight tap. Not too bad.
Rubbing his racing.
Yeah. Just reminding him that he's there.
I'm pretty sure he's aware.
Needed to. He's got a red BMW filling up his rearview mirror.
Yeah, it's quite a bright car to have in your rearview mirror.
And here comes Leslie Oliphant. He's looking very quick, just a half a second behind them. So it's Audi, BMW, and McLaren in this one. And Jacques Bourtier doing very well there in fourth position, just getting on with things.
Yeah, this is definitely a little battle here, isn't it, in the middle? For a battle for fifth place. There's a few guys that are really after it. Oh, it's very wide by Nick there. That's going to compromise him all the way up that straight.
Oliphant to punish him for that mistake.
I think he will do. Yeah, got that easy covered. Just needs a good exit through one.
He doesn't get it. Hodgson gets it.
So easy to push too hard and you lose so much time. You cover the inside, but I think he'll be lucky to keep that place. No, he's lost it already.
Hodgson the braking. You can get the drive. It's Hodgson.
Good bit of driving from both drivers there.
These two fighting out has enabled Timothy Haynes to get away and Devon Lisher to catch up to them. And Sterner there now, the position not far behind as well.
This is turning into quite an epic battle between these two. Certainly the closest on track. I think they could swap places a few times. A bit sideways there by Oliphant through that last corner. Lost a bit of time.
board now with Lisha.
Leslie likes to take that tight line through turn 2, but Nick's not worried about it, knowing that the drive out is been good for him the last 2 laps.
Yeah, Nick's just using that wider exit to get the car straightened up a bit earlier than Oliphant, getting the traction down better.
It's cancelling out the move, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got Dirkie Swanepoel quite tight behind Govender as well. Oh, I say that and he suddenly loses time somehow. Jumping around a bit.
Instant commentator's curse there, Daniel.
I know, it's just sort of...
That's quite impressive.
I apologise to everyone personally after the race. Can't mention anybody. They go from 2 tenths behind to a second behind the moment you mention them.
He's having a cracking race here.
Yeah, I don't think we want to be leaving this battle because very, very tight. Someone's going to push each other to a mistake, I think. Obviously, Tim is loving this because he was right under pressure and now he's 2.5 seconds clear.
He's gone. He's checked out.
He's gone, and Devon Licious looks like he's got Leslie Oliphant as well from a bad exit through turn 1. How many times have we said that already tonight?
Oh, Licious takes the grass.
We saw some of that in Formula 1 yesterday, did you see?
Yes, we did.
I think he got away with it as well. That was hilarious. I saw that after the race that they were basically stopped at Les Saux because no one wanted to be in front of the other to give them DRS.
That's right.
Oh, that's great.
It's turning there with the move on Oliphant.
Oliphant once again has lost a few places just from a couple of mistakes, but not really making a huge error. But it's that tight in this midfield that you go wide on a few corners, 2 places gone.
Oliphant really making that. He's on the soft tire, isn't he? Yes, really making that soft tire work on the McLaren.
Yeah, but after 21 laps, maybe that's why he has made a few errors. Push it a bit hard, it gets a bit warm, all of a sudden your braking points are not where they were the lap before. Still a constant battle for 6th, 7th and 8th place. These guys are switching positions all the time.
As we mentioned, our race leader Jim Clark leading by 14 seconds ahead of Judd Watt in second.
Yeah, soft tyres are suiting him as well, unfortunately, aren't they, guys? After 21 laps at least.
And Langeveld, they're just still keeping in touch with the Judd Watt, just 4 seconds behind him. And then Borja too, they're still in play, 4th position.
Yeah, he's had a great race so far, hasn't he?
But Timothy Haynes starting to catch up now, just 2 seconds behind Borja. So we could have a fight for 4th position in a couple of laps' time. Watching with the mistake. Here comes Lisha.
No, I think you're gonna. That Mercedes should easily get them up the hill, and he does. Nick's comfortable with the outside line on turn 2, but that move's done already.
Here comes up the inside. Nice lunge. Can you get it stopped? No, you can't. Stan is going to say thank you very much as well. You'll get past, and here comes Oliphant 2. Oh, and Hodgson cuts across an Oliphant. Naughty, naughty.
Not enough room there, I'm afraid.
Oliphant will not like that at all. Up the inside he
Might
goes
have
now.
inside.
Oh, great drive there from Oliphant, side by side. I think he's going to super on the outside now. We saw that move earlier already. Can he get that done already again? Yes, he can. Look at that.
Yeah, that's where the McLaren shines. These corners here. Superb in the corners. Sterner's right up behind Nisha. Less than 2/10. Plenty of overtaking tonight, guys. Great to watch. I dread to say it, but Swanepoel's got to his 1/10 again behind Govender. He looks like he's going to make a pass.
Yes.
Also, good battle there. He lost time as soon as I said his name last time. So I'm sort of a little bit reluctant to say him again. Definitely still this battle for 6 that's kept us glued for half the race, and I think it's going to continue because these guys keep switching positions.
Jackie Joggers is mentioning track limits. We do have seen the cars cross the white line. What they're doing at the moment is acceptable. If I see someone doing something radically different to everybody else that's really giving them advantage, then I would look at a penalty. But,
and often we've seen guys cross all 4 wheels outside on corners and lost positions as a result of it. So sometimes it's not necessarily the quickest way, is it? Certainly you've got an exception on turn 1 entry, and that makes sense. But when they go wide on exit.
Yeah. Great fight this as well. Still going on. And perhaps Oliphant's going to push along Sterner. Is he? Oh, he's trying.
Literally.
He's trying. Oliphant.
They should have got mugged there.
Yeah, he did.
Lost 2 positions.
Amazing racing. But yes, track limits is something that is monitored, but I like to let the guys race as well and not be too strict about it. But yes, it is looked at.
There's certain instances where you can see guys gaining an advantage consistently, but here I think it's pushing into certain corners and you go wide, you're not gaining an advantage. If anything, you've lost a position as a result of it.
I think we're just going to stick with these 4. This is obviously where the race is at. Here comes Lisha again. He's going to try and get both of them, I think. Can he thread the needle, as they say? Looks like he's doing it.
Post-race interviews with these 3 are going to be quite exciting, whether they can remember every pass.
Comes Sterner.
Every corner.
Bit under braking. Lisha's going to get the drive, though. Here comes so did Oliphant. He got a good drive, too. And he's a slipstream from the BMW. Push that BMW, Oliphant. Do it. Just can't get there.
No, but it's quick in this middle sector.
Oh, Oliphant runs wide. I think it's a good drive that way. Oliphant's going to do his signature move, perhaps, around the outside. No, he's not quite close enough. And this has brought Hodgson back into play.
Great driving from all 4 of these, though. I mean, there's so many passes. We haven't had many incidences at all. Oh, Sterner just goes off, and I think the curbing sent him off there. Lisha's got his places back 2 laps after losing them. Bit of an intimidating car to try and pass, isn't it, that AMG?
Of course. Yeah. Oh, mistake there. Here comes Oliphant. Can he keep the momentum up now? Yes, he can, I think.
And keep holding that inside line, he should have this covered.
He just needs to block Lisha somewhat. He does that.
Nick fancies the position as well. Ooh. Take to the grass if he has to.
And suddenly Oliphant is unleashed. Now, how quickly can he get away before that main straight?
Yeah, he wants to take advantage of this middle sector. Try and not be in the toe out of the final corner. Lisha's lost his places once again. He's like a yo-yo, that guy.
Yeah. And he's not the only one.
No. 2 places forwards, 2 places back.
I think Oliphant's done enough now to stay ahead into turn 1 and turn 2.
Yeah, it's what he needed to do in that McLaren. Really take advantage of that middle sector where it's really strong, and then try and break that toe in these 2 big long straights. Obviously, these 2 are battling, so it gives him an opportunity to really run away with it. Sure, side by side into this corner. Nick's gone very tight, which will compromise his exit. Which it has. Lisha on the inside line. Should have him under braking here. Can Nick get the cut back? I've seen this before. Nick likes that wide line, doesn't he? He seems to get great drive out of that corner.
While we're watching this, Jadwat has taken 2 seconds out of Clark.
Yeah, Clark's tyres must be going off now. 27 laps in on the softs. He's pushing them, and he's gained enough of an advantage as what he wanted to do. But you'd expect him to lose a bit of time. Yeah, 1:30.1 on that lap, which is quite a bit slower than what he was doing at the start of his stint. In fact, it's 8/10 slower than the start of his stint. Oh.
Contact of it off. That puts it into that fight. You see Oliphant getting away now. Here comes Lisha again on Hudson.
Yeah, these battles cost you a lot of time because you see Tim's pulled a huge gap and was dragged back into this fight earlier on. So let's see whether Oliphant can catch up to Haynes and put a battle on for 5th position.
We see Stern also creeping up behind too. He's a good...
Yeah, all this squabbling.
Yeah, he's 2 seconds faster than these 2. He's really catching up to them at quite a rate. Boys into the pits now. In comes Ednison, GTR.
What tyres was he on? Was he on the mediums? No, he was softs. So he's the first of our soft runners to come in a bit earlier. See whether he comes back out again on softs or whether he changes onto the medium tyre. He has changed onto the medium tyre, has he? Yes. So he's gone for the softs and a slightly longer stint on mediums, which I thought a couple of guys might do. Looks like Jim Clark's pushing to try and just split his softs, to be honest. If he comes in next lap, he's exactly halfway through.
Boyton now from 4th position, first of our front runners. In he comes. He was
Yeah, I
on
expect
medium
everyone
tyre,
to be
I think,
coming
eh?
in
Yeah.
the next lap or
Should
two.
Should be ready, to be honest. I was expecting it to be
Bit of a
happening.
train.
But anyway, Bottas in. So is De Vits. So start ramping
I
up
often
now.
find I overfuel a little bit because I always find myself coming in a lap or two later than expected.
Yeah. It could be the pace slip having something to do with it as well.
Yeah, and obviously race pace is always a bit slower than what you manage to do offline in practice, and it just uses a little bit less of fuel, so you can often squeeze an extra lap out of it. And unless your tyres are completely finished, you're always tempted to do it.
Hodgson's starting to get away now. They gap up to 0.6 of a second. Stern is right there now as well. Just 9/10 behind these two now. Matthew Boy's gone to the soft tyre. Dirk Brand just pointing that out in the YouTube live chat. So he's gone from medium to soft, it looks like.
Oh, okay, wrong way round, sorry.
The Nissan is very good on the soft tyre, it always has been. Langenfeld now into from third into the pits he comes. Hodgson and Lisha as well, in they go, 2x2.
Battle of who can set their pit strategies quickest on the wheel and stop on your box, which is not as easy as it looks sometimes.
Oliphant also in.
Pretty packed pit lane at the moment. Everyone's coming in. Keep an eye on what tyres people leave with.
Oliphant has gone, no, stayed with the soft tyre.
Personally, I never like splitting strategy tyre-wise because I'm obviously not that good a driver. I don't like a different feeling car halfway through the race, to be honest. So if I can, I stay on the same. It'd have to be something drastic to make me want to change.
And Lisha's benefited from their pit stop. He's right with Hodgson side by side now, looking to take a position away. But we know Hodgson is extremely good out of this corner.
He loves that wide line exit, doesn't he, Nick? And he's touch and go whether he's keeping that position though. No, I think he's lost it.
Judd Watt now into the pits now from second.
So our soft runner in first place has also gone the longest.
Oh, Hodgson makes a mistake. Yeah, it's very depressing for everybody. You see the race leader going the longest on the soft
Well, I'm pretty
tyre.
sure a steward's going to have to knock on his door and just check his. I think it's at this point it's needed, isn't it? Really.
There's some cement blocks in the boot there.
Do we know where he lives? We can send the boys round.
So it's Hodgson paying for their mistake now. Stopped well back now from Lisha. Heineken into the pit, Sterner, Claessens. Judd Watt's also rejoined. Haynes is still to stop. He's up to second.
Yeah, Haynes has gone very long on his stint, hasn't he? He's like the only guy not to stop. Also, Clark there has not stopped, has he?
No, I don't think so. Lisha under pressure from Sterner. Clark is finally in. In comes our race leader.
Enough of a gap that he will be back out in first unless he really makes a mistake and jumps in someone else's box. Which doesn't look likely.
Boy up to 13th, past Claessens. Gavin and Heineken together now. He's at the 11th position.
A few more gaps starting to form, isn't there? Sparks is 3/10 behind Jonathan for 15th place.
We have a new race leader, Timothy Haynes, for the moment.
Maybe that's why he went long. He just wanted that one.
Going for a glory lap.
Yeah, I would do the same.
I'm winning the race.
I'll never pit. At the last GP race at Silverstone, I came out and was first, and I thought my timing screen had broken. I genuinely looked. I was thoroughly confused.
Watching under pressure from Sterner. These two together once again. Sterner is very good on the brakes there, Sterner. Good drive too. Hodgson just straddling that sausage
Once
curb.
you hit those sausage curbs, you've lost 2-3 tenths. Yeah, guaranteed.
Spins up the left rear.
They look so flat on the stream, but they might as well be another
Oh,
mountain.
where's Sterner going? He's checked out.
Oh, that's a terrible mistake.
Almost got to Germany with the direction he was going.
It's not easy to do that up the hill as well. It's not like you're a downhill
It's
corner.
almost like it was some sort of pedal failure. Oh, and he's collected, governed in the process, I think.
Bad re-entry.
So
Yeah, you
it's
don't
like
often just go straight on there. He's
like
waiting
a
for him.
brake pedal failure of some kind. I know what that's like with my load cell. Gives up, and then the brakes
I have
don't
a
work.
brain failure sometimes makes me do that sort of thing as well. You just completely forget to brake.
That happens too.
Too busy looking at the timing screen. Or in his rear view mirror in that case, probably. So Haynes is in the pits now. He took his glory lap. So you've still got Swanepoel to pit, have we? I believe must be.
So yeah.
It's gone very long on his first stint. Clark has stayed on the soft, so it is the one guy that's quick has managed to also get the softs to work. There's the Oliphant also stayed on the softs. Looks like most people have stayed on their previous strategies. So no massive battles going on at the moment. So maybe, Jason, you can give us a bit of a rundown of your weekend. You had a much more exciting weekend than the rest of us.
Of course, yeah. So I was fortunate to go to the Nürburgring this last weekend for the Sim Racing Expo. And yeah, absolutely had a fantastic time. I also got to watch the Blancpain GT Series too. And supporting Calvin van der Linde, of course, and David Burrell, two South African drivers in the championship. And yeah, the expo was really well put on, bigger than last year, which is great to see.
Did you go last year as well?
Yes,
I know you've been before.
And the year before, yeah.
Okay, and you know it. You see it growing.
Yes, yeah, it is growing. They had to make more space for the stands, and also they moved the main esports tournament to the arena part of the Nürburgring, so it's like sort of like an indoor stadium basically.
Okay.
And very professionally presented. They had a commentator, I'm not sure what his name is now, but he does commentary for the real world racing as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, they were interviewing a lot of people in the sim racing world. The CEO of Fanatec, of course, Thomas Jakomeyer was there. Was interviewed, and many others. A lot of big presence from Porsche, which was great to see. They looks like they've got quite a big budget for sim racing from now and off into the foreseeable future.
And they're also licensing rims to. I know Fanatec are releasing rims as well, so that they're quite keen to put Porsche forward as a sim racing manufacturer.
We had a big shot. Porsche employee, he basically explained that Porsche sees sim racing as the future to complement real world racing, which is pretty obvious to you and I, perhaps not to everybody else. But he sees the problem they're dealing with now is educating people about sim racing, and that it's not just about playing a game anymore. It's people are using it as a tool to better their driving.
It's not Need for Speed, is it? It's actually realistic, and real life drivers will attest to that.
People are taking it seriously, and people want to see it go professional, and they want to watch it as well. And the
esports game of choice is F1 2019, is it?
Yes, it is. But see, Porsche seem to be supporting Assetto Corsa, Assetto Corsa Competizione, and iRacing.
Okay.
Their main Porsche tournaments. That's sort of 3 or 4 of them going on at the same time, using the different sims and sort of.
They have a very, very professional series in iRacing, which is invitation only, which is the Porsche 911 Cup, isn't it? And unbelievably competitive.
Yeah. And I got to watch it live in the arena with the best sim racers in the world doing battle.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are serious. Yeah.
The moves that they were pulling off, going around the outside into the chicane, getting the drive onto the main straight, was absolutely fantastic to watch. And it was certainly a different vibe actually being there and watching the guys in front of you actually on the rigs. They're all motion simulators. I think there were 12 of them. They're actually there in front of me, and then they had another sort of 12, 15 drivers online competing as well.
Okay, so all the guys that were given a rig was a motion rig and everything?
Yes, it was a motion rig with, I think it was a DD1 setup with I think it was one of the Formula wheels from Fanatec, and then the Club Sport V3 pedals as well.
Brilliant. So they got no excuses for equipment.
Yeah, and it was fantastic to see the way they introduced the drivers too. They sort of had a short intro of each driver, what they've achieved until now, where they're from, and then the flashing lights and the drivers sort of running out onto the stage, and it was all the big show. And it was certainly exciting to watch.
I've never been to the Nürburgring, which is stupid because it didn't live that far away, really.
Okay.
And now I live miles away.
Okay.
It's a mission to go to, but maybe one day I'll get there.
Yeah, it happens that's how it is sometimes.
And some of the motion rigs I saw in your video stream, I mean, just look insane.
Yes, certainly. Like as we were saying, I think before we actually got our audio working, there was a lot of motion rigs at play at this time. We hardly saw that last year at the expo, but this season it seemed like every stand had a motion rig.
It's the it thing for the year.
Yeah, not a lot of virtual reality headsets. There might have been 2 or 3 that I saw.
Okay.
But certainly the motion rigs were very impressive. A lot of names, brand names I've never seen before as well coming up.
Everyone's making a motion rig.
It's certainly, and the motion rig is getting cheaper and cheaper as well all the time, which is good to see. Still very expensive, but it's coming down slowly.
The only time I had to go on one was Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
When they were insane, they've got like 12 of them in a line, and you can all race each other. But I do think they had them turned up to like 110% because you change gear and you break your back.
Okay.
But it certainly adds to the excitement of it for sure.
Yeah. I did try the Fanatec DD1 direct drive base.
Obviously, I'm interested to hear that.
Yeah, of course.
With sat in the UK waiting for
the
me.
McLaren GT3 wheel. I've got a McLaren GT3 Fanatec wheel with the CSL Elite base, and I wanted to compare the bases like for like, and I was really impressed with the DD1. I think it is a good purchase, and perhaps the way to go if you want a direct drive. I didn't try the DD2 unfortunately, but DD1
Fanatec is quite convenient because you've got the whole ecosystem of the rims, something you need to add on to, but it's nice to see direct drive coming down, well, at least available to mass market rather than a few years ago being a bit of an extreme toy. It's still pretty extreme, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see Thrustmaster enter in with a slightly cheaper DD eventually as well.
Yeah, so too, yeah.
It's all going to be good news
sort of
for us.
A direct drive a couple of years ago was like an aftermarket thing, or sort of something that you put together and then sort of made it work somehow.
Very DIY, wasn't it? Very DIY.
Of course, but now you're seeing sort of Fanatec involved in SimCube, and what's another brand I was really impressed with was Wave Italy.
They do immense pedals, don't they?
Beautiful wheels, and with their own direct drive. I tried that; it was very, very good. Another one was
hydraulic pedals as well. Do they have hydraulic pedals
as well?
Yeah,
very good. They've also got a budget pedal system with the load cell, I think it was.
Okay.
And then the other brand I was very impressed with was Cube Controls.
Oh, they make amazing
beautiful
rims,
steering
don't
wheels. Absolutely.
Yes.
It looks like jewelry.
They cost as much as jewelry
Yes,
as well.
yeah. And they've also got their direct drive wheel as well. Very good.
Oh, it's good because you've been for 2 or 3 years and you can see
Yeah.
the development right there, just on your doorstep of how sim racing is becoming popular. But as we say, they've got a nice move by Sterner up the inside.
Yeah, living in Europe, I've got many racetracks around me, but I just don't seem to get to. And so I make a point of at least going once a year to the Nürburgring and sort of combining it with the Expo and the Blancpain GT series, sort of get a whole good mix going at once.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity, isn't it, for you?
And
Is it far away from where you live?
Oh, it's 4 hours drive, so it's
Okay.
a drive. So I need to spend a night or two. I stayed 2 nights, which I really enjoyed. And I really enjoy going from sort of watching the Blancpain GT3, or going from the Expo, going to the real track, watching the GT3 race, going back to the Expo again, and then going out again to watch GT4, and then back into the Expo again. That was a fantastic sort of combination of everything. And
Plus, it's in a stunning part of the world, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, with the forest there, it's awesome.
absolutely beautiful. And the weather is totally insane. It can be beautiful day outside, another cloud in the sky, and then 10 minutes later there's black clouds coming over, and then there's rain, and it's where the wind's very strong, and suddenly that goes past and it's a nice day again. It's the weirdest.
Yeah, you might as well be in the UK.
Yeah, it's the...
Every time I ever went to Silverstone, it was just horrific. I used to live 20 minutes from Silverstone and grew up around all the Formula One teams. In fact, my father built the factory for what is now Renault Formula One.
Oh,
but
wow.
back in the day, it was Benetton.
That's Enstone, isn't it?
They say it's Enstone, but it's not really. It's a tiny little village just outside Enstone, and I lived in the village.
Oh,
I used
wow.
to cycle around in my push bike as a kid in the factory whilst it was being built, and stood in the wind tunnel.
Okay.
But I imagine it's completely changed now. I also put the entrance on the Mercedes Formula One just before I left their factory in Brackley.
Okay.
Yeah, so obviously all those teams in such a small area, it's sort of motorsport valley, if you like.
Wow. So you got infected pretty early on then in your life.
Yeah, I've just been obsessed with Formula One
course,
since a kid. Yeah, it's just, but you live just around the corner from Silverstone.
Yeah,
You can't
of
have
course.
couldn't often afford to go, unfortunately, because the tickets prices are horrific.
Yeah.
But and Silverstone's a pain to go to. But used to go and watch British touring cars and things there.
Wow.
And unfortunately, touring cars is so exciting to watch on TV.
It
Not
is.
so much when you're sat in the stands.
Yes.
But you do get the atmosphere at least.
Okay, Leslie Oliphant, he's up into 5th position, so he's put one over Timothy Haynes. So that's...
all our tabbering, we've missed that one.
Yeah. So it's good stuff by Oliphant, finding some fantastic paces even. I didn't think that McLaren did too well on the straights, but he's really making up for it in the corners.
I think Haynes must have had a problem or made a mistake because he had a comfortable lead last time I checked.
Yeah, or a problem in the pit stops, or it's really setting back, whatever it is. Jim Clark fastest lap with a 29.081 on lap 41 of 59. Would have been lap
He's
40.
not slowing down.
Yeah, it's 22 seconds now, Richard. What? Oh, who's off there? I think it's just one of the drivers getting blue flags.
Yeah, Oliphant's been a bit of a yo-yo as well this evening, but I mean, he's putting it where it needs to now, but up into 5th place, so he's been consistent on pace when he's kept it clean. Jack Both has had a brilliant race, though, isn't it? Still running nice and comfortably in 4th position. Might be under pressure by Oliphant in a few laps' time. Haynes is looking to try and get back on.
Leandro Sparks, they're recovering. He's trying to put a move on Henry Roux. This is for 16th position.
Dirk Brand says that Jim Clark's probably changed to super softs just for the hell of it. Unfortunately, I don't think he's got the option. Otherwise, he probably would do.
Yeah.
Put 2 elastic bands on.
Okay. Because one of the points that the Porsche representative at the expo was saying is that sim racing is growing so quickly, but it's growing in all different directions. It's not growing sort of to a point. And he feels that just now we're going to have sort of like a convergence altogether, and we're going to have a massive tournament with a lot of money to get together eventually. But it's going to take a lot of time for that. Yeah.
No, yeah, we've not seen that as compared to like the first-person shooter games, which has got insane prize monies. But the skill involved is definitely just as. But it's the fact that it goes over to a real-world skill as well, isn't it? Which is what's impressive. That's what's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got so many sims. That's also the problem, isn't it? And everyone's got their preference.
Yes, that's the problem actually. That's cropped up.
Yeah, I suppose if you got rallying sims, you got all different types of styles. But I think one will probably emerge as the one for the big prize money.
Because for instance, say if you take Fortnite, there's only one Fortnite. There's not like it's a different game in its own genre, and there you go.
Yes.
It's the focus is. And sim racing is we've got 5-6 sims or whatever it is.
And it looks like the future. I mean, certainly for the games coming out, it's not going to change. We're just going to get better and better quality.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
When you've got real life Formula One drivers entering sim competitions week in, week out, those guys can spend as long as they like in their own simulators, which are probably insane, and yet they get home and they're still doing more. So that tells you everything you need to know about the quality of iRacing, at least.
Okay,
So people just settling into times. There's the Oliphant, certainly the guy on the move at the moment. He's pulling that gap to 1.5 seconds. It was 2 or 3 seconds earlier, only a few laps ago. So he's really got the hammer down in that McLaren.
I think he's really targeted that 4th position to finish with.
Yeah, he'll do well to get 4th. You see, both has not been under much pressure at all this race so far that we've seen. He's been pretty clear in 4th on his own, so it'll be interesting to see how he copes when he gets a driver come up behind him. So any other manufacturers apart from Porsche that had a big presence at the show?
Mercedes-Benz, AMG were there, but they were selling their driver academy more as sort of real-world driving academy. They did
historically, Nissan has always been quite involved.
Nissan was non-existent.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Porsche. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, it was just really Porsche that was really into it, from what I could see.
It's not a bad brand to have, though, is it?
Yeah. And I know BMW now, they're also sort of, I think, getting into it. They're starting to recognize it too. So BMW were there. There are 2 drivers that, I shouldn't think of the name now. I can see their faces. That'll come to me. To Nicky Katzberg and... it's the Canadian DTM driver. I don't remember now. Anyway, those 2 were racing in the GT500, the iRacing event at the Expo.
Okay. How did they get on?
I don't quite know. I didn't see at the end, but they did pretty well, I think.
I always think the pressure of a real-life driver going up against us guys in our race must be quite immense. We're all desperate to beat them.
Yeah, so they were representing BMW officially. So that was great to see. So I think we're going to see BMW move more and more into it. I think they've sort of dipped their toe in the water and sort of feeling things out as to where to go.
Yeah, obviously not going to let Porsche just run away with it.
Yeah, I think so.
They've already licensed BMW equipment, haven't they? Fanatec do a BMW rim.
Yeah.
And in the past, they've licensed stuff as well. So I think it can't do him any harm. You see, Leslie Oliphant really gained time now. 2 tenths behind, so he's gained 1.5 seconds in that lap. It's pretty much inevitable at this point, I think.
Bruno Spengler was the other driver. So Nicky Katzberg and Bruno Spengler was.
Now, did you use Wikipedia?
I did. You got me.
You might want to
driver Canadian.
You might want to mute your microphone next time you're frantically on your keyboard.
I thought I did. Fail. So we've got a battle here, 4th position. Borta standing pressure here from Oliphant.
This is the first time he's had pressure, but it's pretty much inevitable to pass, I think. Yeah. Leslie Oliphant seems to have just found speed in this second stint. He's been very impressive. He's gained places, been very consistent, and just slowly crept his way back up there. As I say that, they get side by side.
Wow. Bordeaux
Come on, guys.
Threw it up the inside. I can see the car being manhandled around that corner.
He's not giving it in, but that McLaren is brilliant in this middle sector.
It's all about aerodynamics to those 2 corners.
Yeah, awesome in that section.
But here comes Bordeaux back at him. Straight line performance.
I think Oliphant knows that he's got to get a good run through there because he bit of a sitting duck on the 2 straights.
Oh, and Bordeaux's made a mistake. Now Oliphant's away. Timothy Haynes catching up.
Yeah, just about to say Haynes in the background there. He's caught up nicely. So Boza always gone wide there as well. That's not going to help him with Haynes. He was running in 4th so nicely for so long, and all of a sudden he's under a bit of pressure, and it's lost a place, and he could potentially have Haynes up behind him shortly. So at the show, can you buy equipment, or is it just generally showing gear off for you to you go to their website and pick it up as you?
No, you don't buy equipment there, unfortunately.
You're just there to view and play.
Sort of sample. I'm pretty sure you. No, I don't think you can order either. I didn't see anything like that.
But do you get? I don't know. I've not been there, but you can try everyone else's equipment. You have to queue up and.
Yeah, you basically just stand in line and you wait for your turn.
Get a few laps
and then the rigs normally sort of like a 5-minute limit, time limit.
Okay.
Or they basically use the in-game sort of ACC timer or set a course or whatever it is.
Okay. That's pretty cool though, isn't it? So, I mean, we've got a problem here in South Africa like, for example, I've bought a DD wheel. I've never used one before. I've got no idea what it's going to be like. It would be really nice if there was somewhere you could go, you can try it out first. You know what you're going to get. You know what gear to buy now, don't you? So maybe we should ask you.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good
beta tester.
Yeah. I have no problem with that, guys. You can buy the equipment and send it to me first. I'll try it out for you. You guys can get a second hand. How's that?
Yeah, we'll have to pay tax on it. DHL it for us. Yeah, Tim's closed up nicely now, hasn't he, to Bosa? So we're going to get another battle here for 5th place.
12 laps remaining. Still time. Very good battle.
Oliphant is still the man on the move. See whether he can get up to Langeveld. Got plenty of time. 12 laps to go. 9 seconds back. Seems to be gaining on him.
Rui and Lindsay Ray close together. Oh, Lindsay Ray making his own track. Oh, contact. Oh, and Henry Rui off he goes.
Forgot to use the brake pedal there, I think, Henry.
Yeah. I think I was completely off balance.
Has he stopped? No, waiting for a safe place to rejoin. That's good.
Good stuff. Benz has fallen right back. 20th, 33 seconds off Rue.
Yeah, what's happened to him? He was moved up. He was gaining places in the first stint. Obviously had a problem.
Looks like him and Peter Gelnes had a problem, and he was waiting for Gelnes, and Gelnes wasn't having it.
He wants the slipstream.
Yeah, but Gelnes also lapped down, so that's probably why.
Yeah, it's not going to help him in the place, really. So both has just managed to hold off Tim, drop another. Yeah, there's a second gap there. It's moving in and out, but he's settling in. So, I mean, of all the Fanatec stands and fancy stands, is there any of the lower end gear guys like Logitech and Thrustmaster at the show?
No, it's just very disappointing.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Logitech, when the Thrustmaster was there, I think they supplied the wheel and pedals for the Sparko stands. The Sparko was there selling their office chairs and gloves and a couple of other things, or promoting their brands. But no, nothing from Logitech. Thrustbars are not there in their own capacity. So yeah, I actually it was a French guy staying with me in the guest house I was staying at, and he sort of was just getting into sim racing, and he went to the expo and he said, but there's nothing really for us people who are just starting out. Everything's just really, really expensive. So that was a bit disappointing. We want to have sort of the entry level stuff being shown off. So
I should imagine Logitech's got the biggest market share as well, let's be honest.
Yes, I think so.
So it's disappointing for them to just not be there.
Yeah, so what was a bit of a pity is that you have the Blancpain GD series happening at the same time as the expo, so you're having people coming to watch the race that perhaps don't know about sim racing. They come across the expo, and then so obviously if they're going to start, they're going to want entry level stuff, and straight away they see motion rigs with direct drive wheels, and then the person at the stand says it's 15,000 euros. And so that's the immediate put off.
And think you buy a car for that.
Yeah, so perhaps they don't know about the 300 euro wheel and the 200 euro pedal set or 50 euro pedal set. And I think that's something that the expo just needs to get better at.
Yeah, maybe that'll be next year's thing. Motion rigs this year, obviously. All of a sudden, everyone notices, and there'll be some different. It does seem like high-end gear coming out at the moment is the new thing, but
well, then
it's about time Logitech made a new wheel.
The expo is attracting the experienced sim racing who wants to spend money on his rig.
For sure,
perhaps Logitech and Thrustmaster are more at sort of something like Gamescom.
Yes, maybe.
They probably have a more. I've never been to Gamescom, but they perhaps have a bigger presence there, which.
Probably more the console market, isn't it?
Yes,
Sim Race Expo is definitely PC based, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, some serious guys with toys there, and no kids, and very, very generous wives.
Let's have a look at our race leader, Jim Clark, 23 seconds ahead of Judd Watt. And just looking to bring it home really with 9 laps remaining. Navigating the traffic. Next up is Matthew Boy in the Nissan GTR.
Yeah, we say what we like, but you've got to give it to Jim Clark. He's been incredibly impressive again this evening. Right from the start, he pulled a gap 2 seconds within the first 2 laps, didn't he? And he's just controlled the race. So very, very impressive. Chadwell also in second position he got the early pass on Christopher Langeveld, and Langeveld hasn't been able to show the pace that he showed in qualifying. So he's very well earned his second place. And Leslie Oliphant has had an excellent second stint. He was 9 seconds, he's 7. He's going to run out of laps, I think, before he catches Chris. But impressive 4th position so far. Claessens, who we was commenting earlier being very low down, finds himself in 10th, looking at 9th place.
Fantastic recovery.
Yeah, very good. No team orders there, I'm sure. Technically, they're not even the same team, are they? So, can't see Chris moving over for him.
I'm always assured by Bashir that there are no team orders. So.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's many team orders anyway.
No.
We're all too proud for that. I have to give a shout out to my teammate though in Silverstone that despite your commentary, he did move over for me.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I think he was feeling the pressure.
That's cleared up there.
I think he was just scared I'd push him off the track. So, also looking at this this round, we've got 5 divisions of at least people signed up. Do we know how many are actually going to race on Wednesday? We're going to have 3 or possibly 4?
I think we're looking at 3 solid divisions. It's possibly 4, but I'll be surprised if there's 4. That would be a record for us. But 3 solid divisions, and of course,
that's brilliant.
Listeners, you're welcome to join the season as well, and you could be racing Wednesday evening.
Yeah, do it, guys.
Yeah, I can visit the website at simracesa.co.za. Click on the Esports Leagues tab. You'll find a sign up form there. It'll come through to me via email, and then I'll email you back with my response and everything you need to know about getting started. Yeah.
And you can pick a BMW with 2 soft tyres, guaranteed win.
There we go.
So how many guys have signed up in total this season?
I think the last count was 85, I think.
Very good, very good.
But that's across the 3 different series as well. So the GP series and the GT
and your road to 2020, I see, was quite popular last week.
Yes, it got a lot of new names in. I was very happy about that.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I think that's a great series for new guys to join, especially because there's no pressure there. You've got a few races you can join.
Yeah.
Practice your racecraft,
and it's it's heads up racing. There's no divisions, first come first serve. I think we had 6 races per evening, a Monday and a Wednesday evening, so we had 12 races in total of the week, and it was 3 sets of 2 races for one evening, and then the second race of the set was reverse grid of the top 8 in the first race, so that provides some fantastic racing.
Brilliant. See Clarson's get past.
Great move, yeah.
So, very, very good.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Yeah, and the next season, obviously you're changing cars. You had the MX-5 at Imola, and what's the next round?
Next, I think it's a Skip Barber at Laguna Seca.
That's always good fun.
Single-seater, yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Very high
slow
quality
car, but very hard
mod.
to be quick in. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, the road to season 2020.1, I think it takes the intimidation factor away from the sim racing here. And I think a lot of people watch the racing like, I'm not quick enough. I could never race like that. But yeah, you can give yourself a chance in the road to season and you'll be quite surprised. And there are a lot of people, new sim racers who have joined to do the road to season 22.1, and then they said to me, I'd quite like to do the GT3 series as well, which is what we're watching now. And they're in for Wednesday evening. So
yeah, brilliant.
Probably surprise themselves.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, like you say, 90-minute racing will be a bit intimidating for your first one. Having a short half-hour one is ideal.
Getting into it and let the bug bite, as it were, and there we go.
And you never know. You get a season on your belt, you can be right up there. I only joined last season. Quite a few new guys.
Yeah, and you won the last GP race, didn't you?
I think that was a bit of a fluke.
Claim it, Daniel. Claim it.
Yeah, I'll take it. But yeah, no, you got to start somewhere, and but I think that open session once a month is a fantastic way to start. Also, changing cars is also good as well. You've got quite a good mixture. You've got MX-5, Skip Barber. I know you've got a F3 car coming up. That's also quite a good experience for the GP series.
GT4 cars towards the end as well.
Yeah, that helps with the GT3 league, obviously.
Yeah.
No, brilliant.
Yeah.
So Haynes has managed to get up, close that gap again, hasn't he? So going to put a bit of pressure under both for the last 5 laps of the race. Pretty sure Tim's going to be keen to get 5th. Never gives up a place.
Slight mistake there from Timothy. Porter just getting away, but Porter's still quick towards the end. not making it easy there for Haynes. Let's see what he can do. Not going to get the drive.
He needs to be consistent all race long, so I think Tim's going to have to overtake him rather than wait for a mistake.
Gap stays equal through there.
Both in the Audi, so it's literally going to be exit speeds that make the difference. Good driving from both drivers, though, isn't it? They're very consistent on their lap here. Pace isn't, gap's not changing much.
Great to watch. Oh, start mistakenly from Boyd. Is it enough? No, I just can't quite get there.
Haynes was 3/10 quicker on that lap in the end, so he is still gaining. Pressure building. Pressure's always on the guy in front rather than the guy behind. Different lines through that corner, aren't they? Certainly at entry. But the end result seems to be very similar. But both seems to have got a better exit out of the S's. Obviously this track's had quite a revival, hasn't it? From being pulled off the calendar, and then when Red Bull bought it, completely redeveloping it. I believe they pulled down the pit lane, the grandstand, built the whole thing from scratch.
Yeah, huge investment. It's
quite impressive.
Paid off.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's almost like a football team with their fancy stadium, isn't it? We've got an F1 team with their fancy racetrack now.
That probably was the thinking. Yeah, now that you say that.
Good advertising for them. They've got their bull in the middle of the circuit as you're driving around. You look around in VR, you can see that bull everywhere. Great to see. Going up to turn 2, up the hill, brilliant in VR. Unless you're a little bit light-hearted in the stomach department, make you be a bit sick when you first start.
Yeah, I struggle with VR, unfortunately. So.
Oh, is it? Yeah. I did when I first started, but I can do hours and hours, and it makes no difference. And then the other day, I tried to do some Dirt Rally 2, and within 15 minutes, that's different league. You're sideways the whole time.
It's something I'm not sure if I can get past, to be honest. So, yeah, unfortunately for me, I'm not sure if it's for me. When I saw the goggles at the expo, I was like, no, I can't go there. I can't put them on. I'm sorry.
No, I was like that when I first started, but I'm pretty much after a week. You do build yourself up little 20-minute sessions, and now I spend hours, don't notice anything. But then I'm also the sort of person that can go on a boat for days, and I've never ever been seasick, that sort of thing. So maybe I've got a high tolerance for it, but definitely when you first start, you got to be a bit careful. But it's a great track for VR. Red Bull Ring, really, really good. It's any track with elevation changes, like Eau Rouge through Spa, it's unbelievable. Tim's very, very tight here going up this straight.
Somebody needs to make a move soon because we're on the penultimate lap.
Yeah, he'll know that as well. This is a good opportunity. He'll dive up the inside, I'm pretty sure.
That
late on
left
the brakes.
Goes right.
You see, he compromises his exit, going late on the brakes, and very good driving from both are there to keep that position. One more lap from Tim.
And, Jim Clark has started the final lap of this race. Move up the inside. Oh, nicely done. Can he cement the position?
We'll see both keeps the inside into the next corner. It's a great battle here to finish.
Oh, and Haynes had to take avoiding action, I think. As Porter just chopped his nose off.
Might be the end. Who's the back marker we've got?
I think that is Leandro Sparks.
Sparks is
right
looking quite keen to make a move.
To unlap himself, probably.
You don't want a Verstappen moment, please, Ocon. I think Tim might have lost his chance there. That lap was where he had. Both have held him off very, very nicely. Good defensive driving.
Here comes Jim Clark, approaching his fellow teammates. That's Lindsay Ray and Yassine Isma, I think. They are in 16th and 7th positions, respectively. And Lindsay Ray really celebrating for the team, looks like.
Or warming his tyres up on the last lap.
He's going to let his teammate past. And he goes.
Formation finish.
Last corner there for Jim Clark. Get the Echo Racing.
Very impressive from Jim Clark. Yeah, congratulations to him.
Yeah, amazing drive once again. Bashir Jadwat must be thinking, what on earth does he have to do to catch Clark?
Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong, did he, Jadwat? Also, very good drive. Got his position in the first lap and then held it convincingly. I think Lindsay Ray wanted the lap to happen because he finished early.
Comes Chris Langefelt to complete the podium.
Also solid drive. Obviously disappointed that he didn't get his second place, but he stayed in third quite convincingly as well.
And Leslie Oliphant had a brilliant. Yeah, he's possibly the driver of the race for me.
Yeah, second stint was awesome, wasn't it? He didn't make a mistake in that. He made a few errors in the first stint and was yo-yoing backwards and forwards, but he certainly had an entertaining race. I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about it.
Porter just beats Tim there to the line to get
solid position. Drive.
David Lisher a bit further back in 7th.
Lisher was destined for 7th place, wasn't he? He was yeah.
Hutchinson gets 8th position. Claessens recovers to 9th from near the back of the field, I think. So great effort there. And Chris Heineke completes the top 10.
Remind us where round 3 is?
Don't ask me that. Let me check.
Sorry, under pressure. Witness some donuts from Heineke there.
Round 3 is at Donington, one of my favourites.
Oh, excellent. We look forward to that one.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, that concludes round 2 of the 2019.2 South African simGT series. Daniel, thank you very much for joining me this evening. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Fantastic. And yes, and don't forget, if you want to get involved in the racing at SimRace South Africa, if you've seen what you've seen this evening's racing and you want to get involved, you're very welcome to sign up or submit a sign up form. You can visit our website at simracesa.co.za, click on the Esports Leagues tab, and fill in a sign up form and submit that, and it'll come through to me via email, and then I'll respond to you as soon as possible. And so I think the next stream is either next week. Quick look. It's in 2 weeks' time for the GP series at Monza, so that we look forward to that one. So until then, all the best from me, Jason Holden-Jones. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Cheers, Jason. I'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, thanks, David. Cheers.
Go well.